morning. This is Jan Tedder sending you greetings from Durham, North Carolina, the international headquarters for Hug Your Baby. This is our first video newsletter, and I hope you'll find that it's a way to both get information about Hug Your Baby and instructive as well. I wanted to start by telling you a story that happened this week, an opportunity to use the hug strategies. And just to remind you, those hug strategies are start here, not there, see then share, and gaze and engage. I was meeting for the first time a mom with her 6-month-old baby. This family is from Korea, and though the mother spoke really good English, she was kind of shy about trying to explain her baby's condition. The baby was a fully breastfed 6-month-old baby that had those kind of roly-poly rolls and skin folds that those babies will have. And because he was such a big little guy, he had a lot of heat under his neck and had developed a little heat rash with a common little yeast infection on top of it that gets that kind of red, fiery look that's worrisome to moms and dads. And in explaining that, she seems ever so worried. She would say things like, do you think this is a sign of something really, really serious? Do you think I've done something to hurt my baby? Do you think this is going to be dangerous to him for the long run? And although I would explain what it was and explain that this was an easily treatable problem, she just did not seem to be comforted. And so at that point, I turned to my hug strategies and made a decision to begin seeing and sharing her baby's behavior. So for instance, I would say, oh, I see that when you lean over and reach for your diaper, that the baby follows you with her eyes, like she just can't take her eyes off of you. Oh, I see that when you put her up on your shoulder, that she nestles her little head into your neck. She feels so secure up on your shoulder. Oh, I see that when I hold out my stethoscope, your baby's starting to reach for the stethoscope, opening her hands fully and being able to grab intentionally around that toy. And the more I just spoke about the baby's behavior, see and share that behavior, I would just see that the mother would start to relax. And by the end of that visit, she was really able to hear the information about the heat rash, understand what to do. And when I called her back 2 days later, she said the baby was doing great. And it was such a great example of how whenever we feel some resistance from a family, if you'll just stop and see and share that behavior, it can really be a way to break through into a new level of communicating with that family. It's that time of year when we like to reflect on what we've done and accomplished to the last year and what we look forward to in the next year. And so I thought I would share with you some of the things that Hug Your Baby has been doing this past year. I suppose our biggest project has been to roll out the Certified Hug Teacher Program, which some of you have become very familiar with. And I wanted to give a special thanks to Shally O'Neill, who is a nurse that lives near here with 30 years experience. She's been such a great asset and such a cheerful contributor to our program, and we're all very thankful for her work. I've had a good deal of conversation with leadership in CAPA, DONA, and ICEA about how to bring this certification program to their membership. We'll certainly appreciate any ideas you have on how this might be shared with these organizations. Our next big project has been to introduce the Hug Your Baby concepts to nursing schools. And I'd like to introduce you to Barbara Bunker. She is a friend of mine. We worked together at SAS for many years. She was on faculty at the School of Nursing at UNC and has a long history of working with nursing students. So she's undertaking how we might share this program with both graduate and undergraduate nursing students. So we really look forward to this project unfolding in the next year. An exciting thing that happened this year was hearing that we won the 2009 Web Health Award for our online training program. And this is exciting because it will give us more exposure and more credibility as we reach out to those nursing schools and organizations who might readily use this material with their students and with their membership. The other big project underway is the research project sponsored by the UNC School of Public Health. We had an exciting meeting last week where actually the scope of this project really expanded. Initially, I'd hoped that we would be only training peer counselors who would go into the home and help mothers who are breastfeeding. However, after this meeting last week, it looks like I will be able to provide training both to the peer counselors and to their case managers, as well as the WIC counselors. In addition, we'll be training the nurse practitioners and physicians who provide the primary care for these babies. But most excitedly, we're hoping that the social workers will take the certified hug teacher training and then teach this to their pregnant ladies in a prenatal class. And we're hopeful that the outcome of this project will provide some data which will be useful to you as you reach out into your communities. We continue with a great marketing effort. I've really loved sending out the regular newsletters and am planning for a 12-month series to be starting up in the new year. You might have noticed that we began a presence on Facebook, the Hug Your Baby fan page, and it was very exciting that after speaking at ICEA, I came back and started the fan page, and within just 2 weeks we had over 500 people who were reading the fan page, and it just says to me how much interest and need there is by both parents and professionals on the work we're doing. The other marketing tool has been this new flip camera, which you see me using here. I've enjoyed going to conferences and interviewing experts in the field of childbirth education and maternity care. I look forward to doing more interviews as I go to conferences and share this Hug Your Baby information. And finally, this year I have a couple of community-wide trainings coming up. I'll be going to San Francisco in the early part of the year and hopefully to the Midwest in the spring. Going into a community and having the opportunity to do an all-day training for their doulas, nurses, childbirth educators, go into the hospitals and do an in-service program for their leadership, and then as we're doing in San Francisco to have a parents' night as well is really such a great opportunity. So thank you again for all you've done to be a part of the Hug Your Baby project. I hope you'll continue to find ways to use this material in your practice and to offer your leadership in the Hug Your Baby program. Bye-bye.